Hey, and welcome to Cinemondo with Kathy and Lara.
Hello.
We're doing film reviews today. And
So
not
good.
only any film, but a notorious, much requested, everyone's top favorite Indian film called Super Deluxe.
Ah,
Been
such
hearing
a
about
good
this for
film.
so long, right? It's Tamil.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've been hearing about this, and I kept, well, I need to watch it. I need to watch it. I kept going for like the newer, flashier action, and this one looked like kind of relationshipy, a little bit down low. So I was kind of
Hmm.
waiting, and then I wanted to make sure that we could do it right, so we all watched it and made sure we saw it. Um, and I have to say, I was pretty much blown away by this movie. I gotta say, Ugh,
It was so good, but it was so like bonkers,
it was
right?
bonkers. It
There were
was.
so many things happening, and I literally had to rewind a couple times. What did I just miss? Like,
I know.
what's happening? Or who is that person now? Like,
I know. This is the second film by Thiagarajan Kumararaja. I know I said
hmm
didn't say that right, but it stars. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna definitely get stars a shout out because some of these people did amazing
Yep.
work. So we have. Let me find it.
Um.
Oh no, I can't find it. Okay, hold on. I thought
So Vijaya, right? Sethupathi,
BJ.
BJ.
Yeah, BJ.
And then was this a Fahadh Faasil?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
who else starred in this one? A thousand other people.
Incredible performances, even from like,
Amazing.
yeah,
So
even by
good.
just the kids, they were so authentic.
Yeah.
So I want to show the trailer just so people can get a vibe for how this looks. If they haven't seen it yet, they can kind of get a feeling of how this movie looks. So I'm going to play the trailer, and then we'll discuss the movie fully in a review. You ready?
I'm
Here
ready.
we, here we go.
Let's do
Okay. Great trailer. So good. So the one thing you don't get from that is it's actually got a lot of humor. It's a lot
Yeah.
gritty, kind of black humor, which I really
Not
like.
as it's not as serious as it like is portrayed in that trailer, but there's so many like WTF
Oh
moments
my
in
god.
this
And that cinematography, my god, the cinematography was gorgeous.
so good.
So
It was good.
apparently they had planned on shooting this on film. That's
Oh.
and you get that feeling. The lushness
Mhm.
has that film look, but they ultimately couldn't get the film, so they had to go digital. But they wanted to bring that rich sort of film stock look, and they really did. I mean, that was some gorgeous cinematography and color correction. I'll just say that. I mean,
Yeah, it looks
amazing.
great.
Oh, so good. And so yes, as you can see, there's a lot of familiar faces. There's a lot of great actors in this, you know, including Vijay, who I think has to do a lot of the heavy lifting as the trans woman. She was such a great character. I loved her because, all right, first of all, the film is broken down into I think like 4 short stories in a way, and they kind of
Yeah.
you don't know where they're going to intersect. They're all like in the same location, but they're like 4 separate stories that overlap a little bit here and there, and you wonder as you're watching, is it going to overlap? You know, are we going to see these characters converge? You never know, but the fact that they're little disjointed might throw people off at first because you're kind of like, what does this got to do with anything when you're jumping back and forth? But it's really well edited, and you don't really have to worry about that too much because it's such strong story. I mean, every story I was fully invested.
Yeah,
So
nope,
good.
I totally agree. And it just some of the things that they're doing, so they all, tie back to each other. But
Yeah.
it's really interesting to watch it kind of all unfold. Like, I feel like we really haven't seen a black comedy like this
Yeah.
from like an Indian film before, or just I haven't seen one in all of the,
Yeah.
20 plus films we've seen in the last year.
The closest I think is Dev D because I feel like it gave us
Yeah.
a sexual frankness that we don't get in other
Yep.
Indian films. There's a real kind of strange kind of hands-off attitude in a lot of Indian films where there's no real passion. They don't really talk about sex. They don't show sex. And in this one, they just fully went for it. So
they were like, "Oh, here you go. We're doing it. Everybody's fine. It's great."
I mean, every storyline has a sexual component in one way or the other, So there's 4 stories. One is Shilpa's story. That is the trans woman who 7 years ago had she was a father of this child and married to this woman. And he just abandons them, and they never know what happened to him. Then all of a sudden he appears. He says he's coming back, and they're all excited. Oh, he's coming back. And he gets out of the car, and she's a woman, and she's beautiful.
Like, oh,
I know. And she seems really happy. Like, I'm here. She takes off her sunglasses. She just makes this great entrance getting out of the car, and the wife is like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" And the kid's like, "What?" But he didn't seem necessarily like offended at all. The kid was like, "All right, this is different, but I'm for it."
Whatever. 2 moms, right? Is that fine?
I loved it. I thought it was really cute. It was very cute to see. And I thought this was really, I've never seen a trans woman in an Indian film ever. So I was kind of like, and that includes technically not a lot of trans women in Western films either, like America. There aren't that many.
That's true.
So huge credit to this film for doing that and making the character really sympathetic and not like, a freak show or anything, which is a lot of tendency sometimes. Like when you look back on old films like Dress to Kill or things like that. And anyway, we've come a long way, we'll say. But I loved how she comes in, so she has to the family has to adapt to her and figure out what to do. And in the meantime, she gets involved in harassment and humiliation, and she tries to go to the police, and they don't want to help her. And then her son goes missing, and she has to go to the police for that. And then the police are just disgusting and terrible, and but they think she's a woman, so they basically want to rape her. It's like great,
right?
And she's then the police are super offended when they find out that she's not who they think she is. And then we have a thing called the TV story, which I thought was a great story, where these kids
really liked
getting the porn film, get the porn film.
I really liked the kids. Yeah, that film. It was really funny.
They go into that store. It felt so retro. He goes, the little kid, super nerd, goes, "Do you have porn here?" We sure do.
It's like, and they're not even like nonchalant about it. They're just kind of like,
no, they're all standing there like,
this is how you find it, right? We don't go on the internet. We get it at the DVD store. It's great.
It was so funny. So they're all like, "Yoo-hoo!" So we get to get this great video. They take it back, and then as they're watching it, they realize one of the kids' mother is the star.
Which is so funny. I almost lost it. I literally, it was just the best thing I'd ever seen. I'm like, this is great.
First of all, I was amazed that I'm watching an Indian film that has a porn film in it. And then they're actually starting to show the porn film, and then you find someone's mother. I mean,
and then it's their mom.
So rich with juicy details. And so the kid loses his shit and breaks the other kid's TV. So that storyline is about how are they going to get a new TV. So that's the one
So
storyline. So, but then that also ties into the next storyline, which is
yes.
Leela's story, where the kid is so enraged about his mother, all he wants to do is kill her, literally kill her. So he's running and he finds does he have a screwdriver or something? And he wants to stab her.
I'm like,
It was
I
so
don't
scary.
understand the murder. Like, oh, children are
He was
creepy.
very angry at his mother. And so, of course, he fucks it up, falls downstairs, and stabs himself. So his storyline is all about them trying to save him
Right.
from dying because, he tried to kill his mother, and she's having to come to terms with
And
her
she's
son
like,
tried to kill her.
oh, I guess I should save you, but also you literally just tried to kill me.
And I like how some of the other kids are like, you don't know it's really her. It could be someone who looks like her a lot. And that's all.
Right.
So you're not
like,
even sure. I
you're
mean,
not positive, but you're kind of positive.
I mean, kind of positive because the actress is, but I wasn't sure where the story was going to go with it. Whether it was like just that, that patriarchal outrage at female sexuality, or and then oops, got it wrong.
Right.
So there was that, and then we have the Vayambu and Mughal story. I hope I said those names right. I really like this story because that felt very it felt like a very American kind of setup where the woman's cheating on her husband, the arranged marriage, she's unhappy, cheating with the boyfriend while he's out of town, and the boyfriend dies in the bed, I guess has a heart attack or something. And the husband comes back and she's like, you have to help me get rid of the body. It's like, what? So
they're like loading it into a car, and I'm like, oh my God.
It was like Keystone Cops, these two. But I liked how like he was outraged, she cheated on him, but at the same time he wanted to help cover up the crime.
Yeah,
because he also didn't want to deal with it.
Right. But I feel like, isn't this is literally an American story somewhere.
It really was. It felt so contemporary, so relatable on our sensibilities about film that I think that's what I really loved is I felt like I was seeing something really truly contemporary that even though they cut away and they didn't show like super graphic anything, but the whole storyline, the sexual component and the subtext to every scene was so unusual for all the Indian films I've seen so far, which, it's not a lot in comparison to most people, but still.
And I'm like, maybe 20 for 2022. Like,
seriously. I know. So that was a great storyline. So their whole thing is like, how do you dispose of this body, and him having to deal with his jealousy, but then also trying to figure out what to do, and her betraying her husband. He's constantly berating her, like just constant. And you just feel like, well, I get that he's mad at her, but I feel like this wasn't unusual for him.
But also you decided to help. And like, what? I mean, she was just like, well, I mean,
yeah, she's like, can we talk about this later?
But like, we don't have time to deal with this. Like, we need to do this now. And he's just like, I get that you're mad, but you're also helping. So what's the outcome here?
And that was part of the comedy too, is like, how do you get rid of a body? Okay, let's think about this. Like, okay. So they go, we have to dismember him and put him in a suitcase to get him out of here. So they go get, and I love that scene too. We're like, okay, so you're going to have to do it because this is your fault. And she's like, I can't do it. And he goes, fine, give me the hatchet. And he's looking at, I can't do it either. Forget it.
Stuff him in this like bag. I don't know.
And then they just didn't even stuff him at all. He's just a passenger in the car,
just
sitting
hanging out in the car.
That was so funny. Like, I expected like him to come back to life.
He's like in the like the passenger lane of the highway.
And they put like, sunglasses on him so he looks a little less dead. So
he's
if
like
anyone
Bernie.
sees him,
it reminded me of Bernie.
Yes,
Weekend at
Bernie. Very much like that. Very much like that. So again, like it doesn't play slapstick at all. Like this is played in a black comedy, almost serious, but not quite. So it's like, I'm kind of laughing at it because it's funny, but you are kind of like, are they going to dismember this guy? And then, there's still an edge to it, like what is going to happen in this storyline? I mean, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And then we have, let's see. So so good. And then, the whole cult aspects that, and we're giving spoilers here, needless to say. We'll make sure people spoilers.
But
I'm not going to give all the spoilers, but there's a whole cult component to the TV. The kids with the TV, they try and get a gang. Which also, let's talk about this scene where the kids go. We're skipping backwards again to the TV storyline where they're trying to get a job from this gangster so they can buy money to get a new TV. And 11, every scene in this mobster's house, there's cats meowing.
I know, and I don't understand the cats. I'm like, who wants all these cats?
I know, you're in the scene, you're just like, What? What?
Okay.
So yeah, of course, they get in deep because they're freaking worthless, silly, goofy kids, and he gives them a job to do, and they fuck it up, and it's so good. So anyway, so there's everything has that weird story through line of something very adult, very
Mhm.
contemporary. I loved that about this movie. It's the kind of movie where someone says, "Hey, let's watch an Indian film," and you're like, it's gonna be that Bollywood. Just like, no, let's watch this movie. You're gonna really like it. It's very
Yeah.
intense and cool, very snappy, really well directed. I think maybe it might be a little too long because the thing is, it was so snappy and jumped from thing to storyline to storyline and everything. But
Mhm.
then I feel like it kind of bogged down a teeny bit where you're feeling like, okay, we get it. Like you get a little repetitive, but just
Yeah.
that last scene with VJ with this kid,
With the kid.
just oh my god, it was
So
his
good.
expressions. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about how he
I
looked at his
know.
child, thinking the child was rejecting him, and then finding out he wasn't, and then just that
Like,
love, just
"No,
this
I'm here for
radiating.
you."
Oh, I
Yeah, it
loved
was
it,
so good.
and I love that they were all like, "Okay, we can accept this. We'll do it. Let's do it."
Right. I
Mhm.
like that the ending I that it wasn't negative, you
Right.
know, that
I
they
will say, overall, and this is a problem in many films, not just this film or any other film, women do not do well in these films. It's like we have VJ
no.
who's playing the trans woman and he's humiliated,
Mhm.
assaulted, beaten up, even though your sympathies are squarely with
Right.
her. But it's still we're getting this woman's being abused. Then we have the the mother who's in the porn
The
film, and
mother.
she's being
Mhm.
shamed and treated like she's garbage because she's in a porn film, even though it's a perfectly legal business and no one should be ashamed at being a porn film, right? So she's being kind of judged in this movie and it's not necessarily by the filmmaker per se, but you get that
Yeah,
judgment from
but
everyone else,
from
including the kids,
everyone.
even though they wanted to watch porn, and it doesn't occur to them that porn actresses are also mothers. They could be
Well,
mothers,
also people like how who are gonna do these? You watch them, so I
you
mean,
watch them.
someone has to make them. I don't
Someone
know,
makes them,
like,
and they star women who often mothers. That's just like so.
it's just
And
kind of
then
how it works.
and then the Vimbu Mughal story,
Yes.
really overtly like hostile to women. Like she is being sexually shamed for wanting to have sex with a boyfriend. A husband was gone all the time, didn't want anything to do with her. So she's
Well,
being completely abused. And then he offers her up to be raped to get out of the situation they're in at the end. Like,
right. And
oh
you're
my
like,
god, so every storyline was punishing women in some way, form, or another, but I was giving him the benefit of the doubt because I still felt like the filmmaker was on their side, but it was like, do we have to see this constant abuse all the time?
right. Does it there's got to be a better way to tie that back. Like the
Yep.
men never get their just dues.
Yeah.
It's just,
And then they end on another porn film, which I thought was kind of hilarious
which I thought was great. That
because
was
you're basically
probably
hearing
one of
this.
my favorites.
It was very complex. There were a lot of layers. I feel like there was a lot of intense storytelling and a lot of
Mhm.
tiny detail that mattered and they gave everything a lot more life. And
Well,
so
it was
the fact that
so
overlay narration ended up being a porn film was hilarious.
well, and the film was just so colorful,
Oh, so
right?
gorgeous.
Like they
Mhm.
just the costuming as always was fantastic. Um,
Beautiful. Probably one of
just
the most beautiful Indian films I've seen because it wasn't about like women in their beautiful costumes or these
right.
gorgeous, glorious sets. It was about just pure cinematography. And wait, I want to find out who did
So
cinematography.
good.
They deserve a shout out. Um, but yeah, I can't I can't recommend this enough. I think it would be a really good one to start people off on if you haven't seen any Indian films or you're interested in or haven't seen many, because this really does make you feel like, okay, now we're talking. We're in the
Mhm.
21st century, even though
Right.
this movie came out. What was the date
It
this came out?
um
I think it was 6 years ago
ni-
or 3 years ago.
y-
Wait,
yeah, it
6 years
was
ago.
2019 maybe,
Okay, so
1819.
it's 3 or 4 years ago.
Mhm.
And apparently, he has another film that is a critic's darling that did really well too. That we'll definitely have to review because now I'm a fan. I'm definitely gonna see more of
No,
this man
so
films.
good. Mhm.
Oh. So anyway,
100%.
loved this movie. We can show a few posters. We have a
Ooh,
trailer
yeah.
reaction where we did this, but I like the poster too because they are also gorgeous. And I feel like sometimes when you do posters, you don't get a chance to really make beautiful art. You're just doing pure
Mhm.
marketing and big heads.
Yeah.
But like These are like gorgeous posters. I love the.
I know. Look at, I love that 70s feel. I think that was
Oh,
the thing that like drew us to this movie in the first place.
yeah, it did. It does.
Was the fact that it was like, you know,
It's a beautiful poster.
just so vibrant and so great.
Just
Oh,
loved
so
it. So this is fantastic poster, and you can see a lot of this is it's all just unit photography. There's no special shoot, but they have it's kind of caught moment, which I think is good because you're getting all the emotion. You're not just getting I'm posing for the camera. You're getting this like in the moment, and you can see how beautiful the trans character is. Gorgeous.
yeah.
And then you have another version of it, which I love all the detail in this. It's just
Yeah, I
amazing.
like that one too.
Beautiful patterns and stuff. Just like, and that's her getting out of the car with the sunglasses, where she's all like, "I'm here. I'm super glamorous."
She's like, "Here I am."
But I did really love her relationship with the kid was super adorable. Like, and the kid was, I love too because the kid was
Like-
so innocent. He's like, "Okay, you're a woman now. Okay, I'm good.
Fine.
Yeah,
No,
he's all right."
like
took a little while, but not too long.
deeper questions. Like
It would have to be a little
fine.
confusing for a child. Yeah. So anyway,
Like, I'm
huge fan of this movie. I loved
Same.
it.
was
Even
so
though there's
good.
a little bit of that patriarchal stuff, I still thought this was a great film. So, and I think Lara,
100%.
we agree.
Yes, so
We
good.
agree about
It
this
was
great
so
film. So, you guys definitely check out this movie and let us know what you thought of Super Deluxe. I know that we loved it, and I'm interested to see what you guys thought about it. What were your takeaways from this movie? Because it was just it blew us away. All right, here we go. Bye.
Bye.